inviting me to be here. Thank you, Chairman Buckley, for this invitation. And thank many of you all who have been successfully a part of every campaign and legislator who represents our great country. It has been an honor to be asked to come here because I represent Idaho and the great Northwest. And I want to tell you how excited we are to be here. I would love to take the time to acknowledge, first of all, the Indigenous nations who are here. Many who have been long forgotten. The Abenaki and the Pennacook. These nations of original people who have been on this land for thousands of years, our relatives. When I tell you about this morning, I come from a nation of people who believe in rising with the sun. And I stood in prayer with our elements of nature. And in that prayer, I asked for guidance. I asked for wisdom, the good words that we need. Because when I walked into this room, I did not walk into this room being about a party. I walked into this room being about love. Because I come from a very rural countryside in North Idaho. And there our people get by being good neighbors. Not because they're Republican or Democrat or independents, but because they're there for each other through hard times and through good times. We raise each other's children. We love our land, and we want to be better people for our future. I bring a message of love because that's what I believe the Democratic Party is and should be about. When I ran as a legislator in the state of Idaho and as governor for the state of Idaho, that is the message that I ran on. Because our country is wholly divided by far too much hate and far too much greed. Our people across the country have been robbed of their dignity, and they're continuing to be belittled and to not have access to prosperity and the same dignity that my ancestors had. It is wholly unfortunate that that is the same future that we see for our children right now. It seems bleak with the administration that we face today. It seems bleak when the corporations have all the control. It seems bleak when we see the Republican Party right now full of lies and greed and hate. And it is frustrating as a citizen of this country, as someone who reigns from a legacy of chiefs of this land for thousands of years. That is my ancestry. My legacy is this land. And to have leaders who do not tell the truth to the people of this country, that is hurtful. And that destroys the very fabric of the basis of this land, which is built on the Iroquois Confederacy. So when I look back upon my prayer this morning for all of you, I look back on what the country was made of and what we are founded upon, which is freedom, liberty, and justice, but for all. And not just the privileged few. And unfortunately, that is the way things are going. So I speak to you as my relatives, because in today's day and age, our future generations are relying upon our leadership, our commitment to truth, our commitment to integrity, to bring forth this way of life that is the true fabric of this nation. And when I remind our people that the true fabric of this nation is the culture of the indigenous peoples of this land who have been here for many generations, that belongs to all of us. Whether you came here escaping whatever debt of society you came from in other countries, or you came here for safety and security, for a better future, to seek prosperity, this land is for everyone. But I ask of you one thing. My grandfathers, who are great chiefs of the Northwest, they reminded me that the legacy that I inherited is to ensure that we are all great stewards of the land. So regardless And whether or not you are indigenous, you are still absolutely responsible for taking care of nature, for taking care of our planet, for making sure that we are responsible in our day-to-day lives, of being accountable for our environment. All of that matters. So I'm thankful to each and every one of you, all of our activists, all of our ambassadors, everyone who is standing up for nature, standing up for the rights of water, standing up for the rights of our air quality, making sure that our lands are protected and accessible for our future generations. Thank you all. Because that's what this is about. It is not about one meek individual who sits at the top. It is about we the people and what we can do together, because that is absolutely what matters. It's what we as a people can do when we believe. My grandmothers, who are formidable people, come from a culture where we were the leaders. We were the chiefs as women. We were the CEOs. We lead. That is my culture. And I want that to be the culture of America. I want to ensure that women have their rightful place at the forefront, along with men, to have this egalitarian society where we are all truly equal. And we're getting there. I promise you, we are getting there. So at a time where we are at a crossroads, I want to tell you that there is a great vision, and I would ask that you all believe, because it does come down to us. And in our traditional ceremonies of the Indigenous peoples here, Indigenous peoples are praying for everyone to wake up to this great awakening, because we all need to vote. And when I go back to my original roots in rural North Idaho, in the countryside, on the Coeur d'Alene Reservation where I was born and raised, those very humble beginnings reminded me that it is about party. It's about the party of love. And love will get us through and bring us to those brighter days. Thank you, sir. And thank you for serving. So that being said, I wish you all so much power and authority in your own rights to do what is right each and every day when it comes down to our environment, to take action when it comes down to our climate crisis. The United Nations has just released a report of over 450 scientists who have stated that we have 12 years to take action, to reverse the climate impacts that are happening before we start seeing more drought, more devastation, and more poverty that will be normalized in our day-to-day lives. And that is not what we want for our children and our children's future. So we have to take action now, but we take action to all of our people back home and in our communities who are beyond New Hampshire. We have to take action by voting. Do not let anyone else speak for you. Do not let the greed of the corporations or the Republican Party speak for you. And by all means, whatever your purpose is, take that with full authority, because the true leaders will act with that moral imperative. We have to be those folks who lead ourselves. We are no longer sheep of a nation. We are leaders amongst ourselves, each and every one of us. So thank you all for supporting all the good people that fight for us on a daily basis. Thank you to our congressmen and women who serve. Thank you to all of our veterans who are here, who have allowed me to speak before you, and this very warm and welcoming invitation to be here in New Hampshire. I love you all, and thank you to our Senator Shaheen, who has been very welcoming and inviting. Thank you, Chairman Buckley, again, for being such a great host. And again, all of my relatives here in New Hampshire, God bless each and every one of you. You are all in my prayers. Leim Leim Shayat. Thank you.